Now, let us look at what is this marketing environment. We take a simple marketing system. How does this system look like? If you see this system, this marketing system can be looked upon as a set of significant institutions and flows that connect an organization to its markets. It is a very simple definition which is being projected now. You are looking at a marketing system as a set of significant institutions and flows connecting an organization to its markets. So, you have a company, you have a market. Kindly note that this is a very simple system. What does a company do? It produces goods and services, it offers it to the market. Now, what does the market do? Market gives money in return to the company, that is the sales are done by these goods and services, it gets back to the company in the form of money. In this whole process, this company is communicating with the market. What do you mean by communicating with the market? It is telling the market about its goods and services, what all it can do, and the market is also communicating with the company. What is that company? What is that communication? It is providing information to the company on the communication it is receiving from the company. In other words, it is a feedback which the company gets from the market on its goods and services. So, in essence, what are we having? We are having a company. Kindly note again, this is a simplistic representation of a marketing system. You have a company, you have a market. The company puts goods and services into the market. In return, the market gives the company money in terms of sales. In the process, company communicates with the market. How does it communicate with the market? It tells the market what does the goods and services which are produced by the company, how good they are for use by the market concerned, and the market in return provides information on this communication, which we now call it as market feedback. So, a simplistic market system just visualizes company and markets and these types of flows. This is indicated in this diagram. Now, before we go further on this customer delivered value, all those types of things, we will try to visualize the marketing environment as it exists in the present day. So, what was presented was a simple marketing environment system. Now, the present day marketing system is not all that simple, kindly note that. It is quite a complicated system, and what is the type of complications that you are seeing in the present day marketing environment? If you look at this particular figure, this becomes more clear. If you look at a company, for any company you will have competitors, and you have the publics, that is the people who have to accept your product. Then when you are operating in a business environment, so many economic factors come into play. Further, The demographics of the market will also come into play. Your product might be fit for a particular age group, might not be fit for all age groups. Then the physical system, how do you actually deliver this product, the logistics side of it. Then what is the type of technological changes that might influence the composition of the market environment. So many changes take place in on the technological front. Similarly, when a company is operating, the political environment in which it has to operate, whether it operates in a democracy or whether it operates in a military environment, whether it operates in a free market or whether it operates in a constrained market, all these types of things come into play. Added to that, the types of legal barriers which a company has to face in the market. Then there is a problem of the society where it operates, that is the social factors. Then there is also the cultural factors. Some of the products that you may like to introduce in the marketplace may not be acceptable to that culture. So, that culture may be repugnant to the use of your product. It might not like to use this product. So, broadly looking at it, you can look at this whole environment in this diagram. The middle portion of this diagram is rectangular. In that one rectangular, you have a smaller rectangular block which you can see, and that rectangular block has what is got the suppliers. The suppliers are those people who are supplying the raw materials to the company. And what does the company do? From the raw materials, it converts these raw materials into finished products. And when it comes as a finished product, the marketing department takes over. So, it reaches the consumers through what we call the marketing intermediaries. The marketing department many times goes through these marketing intermediaries. What are these marketing intermediaries? These marketing intermediaries can be visualized as agent middlemen or merchant middlemen. So, what is this agent middleman? These agent middlemen are the people who take your product, negotiate contracts, but do not take title to your merchandise. Kindly note that. They find the consumers or the customers for you, they negotiate contracts, but they do not take title to your merchandise. The other type of middleman that you can have is what is called the merchant middleman. What is this merchant middleman? They are the people who buy, take title to your product and resell the merchandise. So, your product will not be going in your company's name, it may be going in some other company's name. Okay. So, this is a type of two middlemen who operate in the market. So, you can visualize a very simple situation. Take your fruits and vegetables which are coming into a main market in a city like in Bangalore, the city market. You do not know who is the person who is producing your fruits or vegetables. It is picked up from some place. Who picks it up? The person who picks it up is a middleman, and the middleman comes and puts that product, this is the fruits and vegetables, into the city market, and you take this fruits and vegetables from that. Now, the changed scenario, instead of that city market, you are also having so many other retailers. One of the retailers you can think of is your big bazaar. Go to any big bazaar, you can find all these fruits and vegetables. You do not know how these fruits and vegetables have actually made their way into the big bazaar. Is it the farmer who is giving it, or is it somebody else? No, the farmer is not directly giving it to the big bazaar. It is coming to them through the middleman. So, basically who are the types of this middlemen? They are basically agent middlemen, who are taking from the farmer, bringing it to the big bazaar or the city market, and you as customer, end customer, take these vegetables depending on your requirement, fruits depending on what you require. Whereas, in the case of the merchant middleman, what happens? The merchant middleman takes the title to your product. So, the product is no longer marketed in your company's name, it is marketed in his company's name. So, who is a good well known merchant middleman in the Indian market? A well known merchant middleman in the Indian market is Voltas. Take the many products which are coming from Voltas, many of them are not manufactured by Voltas. Suppose you turn the product upside down, you find a small label there, product manufactured by this in this particular industrial suburb Thane, or this industrial suburb in some other place. So, these, but the product is going as a product of Voltas. So, Voltas is having a name in the market, and the consumer attaches importance to this Voltas name in the marketplace. He thinks that being a product coming from Voltas, it will always conform to certain standards. So, here is this particular diagram giving you this role of the marketing intermediaries. This marketing intermediaries, there can be two types of marketing intermediaries. One is the agent middleman and the second is the merchant middleman. Through this, your product, that is the company's product, reaches the customer. Take the outer rectangle. You have competitors for your company, you have the publics coming. Both of them competitors will also try to imitate your product, give a terrific competition to what you want to put out into the marketplace. The publics are the ones who give lot of feedback, whether this product is good, not good, word of mouth publicity, all those types of things. Now, in addition to all this, these are the different environments which I listed already. You have an economic environment, you have a demographic environment, political factors, legal factors, socio-cultural environment, technological challenges for your product, and the physical aspects, the delivery or the logistics, what you are seeing now as supply chain. So, all this is getting incorporated in the present day in different forms. You have a supply chain management, you have, in other words, everything is getting linked to the market. Now, suppose when you are operating in this type of a market, you are susceptible to threats, that is you always face threats in the marketplace. What is this threat? This threat stands for challenges posed by an unfavorable trend or specific disturbance in the environment, which would lead, in the absence of a purposeful marketing action, to the stagnation or demise of a company product. So, an environmental threat becomes a very important aspect which the company has to really be very cautious. And when operating in a dynamic marketing environment, these threats are also very common. You cannot avoid these threats at all. And when it comes, you must find out how do you really cope with these threats. So, whether it is a challenge posed by a new entrant or an existing market player, whatever it is, you have to face that. Now, here is the role of the market intermediaries. They can help you to cope with this environmental threat. They can help you with this market search, physical distribution, communication, negotiation and title transfer much better than you, that is a company itself. So, because they are adept in this system. So, they know what are all the intricacies that are involved and they are well equipped to handle all these intricacies, much better than the company itself. So, this is the way an environment functions, and when this environment functions in this manner, the other important aspect which you have to take into account is from the point of view of the customer. You are putting the end product into the marketplace. When you are putting the end product into the marketplace, how does the customer view your product? That is, what are the types of factors he takes into account before he decides whether he should go in for your product or he should go in for somebody else's product, maybe your competitor. This is represented in this particular diagram as determinants of customer delivered value. What is this customer delivered value? If you see the left hand side of this diagram, you see 5 values. One is your image value, personnel value, services value, product value, becoming the total customer value. These 4 values adding together giving you the total customer value. Come to the right side, you have the costs. Again you are looking at 4 types of costs. One is the psychic cost, second is the energy cost, third is the time cost, fourth is the monetary cost, all this adding up to the total customer cost. Now, the question, when does the customer prefer a particular product? The simple answer would be when his customer value is much more than the customer cost. So, the total customer value should be much more than the total customer cost. That becomes the customer delivered value. Are you getting this? So, the customer delivered value is nothing but the excess of the total customer value over the total customer cost. Suppose it does not become excess, the customer may not prefer your product, he may prefer the competitor's product, because it may be giving him excess. So, some of these terms which are used in this diagram, many of them might be very obvious. What does a product do for you? That is a product value, or what does a services do for you? That is your services value. And what do the personnel value? Suppose your product, consumer durable product, it requires attention on a regular basis. How good is your company to give that attention, and how can your company provide information to the consumer on the usage and the maintenance of the product on a regular basis. So, take whether it is a washing machine or whether it is a micro oven or some other product. Now you find that many of the Indian families use dishwashers also. And what is this image value? That is, from which company is this product coming in? A washing machine which used to come from a company like IFB always used to have edge in this market a few years back. But what is the present day scenario? The present day scenario is where you have number of companies, players in the marketplace. It may be an LG, or it may be a Samsung, or some other companies, or it may be a Whirlpool. All these players putting their washing machine into the market, and the consumer has a big choice. He can pick up his washing machine from any of these products. He need not necessarily stick to earlier situations where people used to say this is a washing machine coming from IFB. So, it should be very good. The other companies which are putting out the washing machines in the present day market are as good as IFB, though IFB says that no, we are better than them. It is required for them to prove that they are better than the competitors to exist in the marketplace. Similarly, with respect to this total customer cost, look at this diagram. You have what is called a psychic cost. What is this psychic cost? This is the more to do with the psychology of the individual. So, you do a lot of searching for a particular product, and when this lot of searching leads you to a particular manufacturer, you invest your time and you have to attribute a cost for this investing of the time. You say let us say you searched all these products, all these manufacturers of washing machine, and you came to the conclusion that IFB is the best, let us say. Then there is a certain psychic cost involved. Coupled with that, there is a certain amount of energy that you have spent in coming to this conclusion. Coupled to that, you have spent a considerable amount of time in coming to the conclusion that this IFB is the best with respect to this washing machine. Added to all that, you have to give the cost of the product as required by the customer, as required by the company. So, that is a monetary cost. When you add all these costs, you get the total customer cost. So, it is not just the price of the product which is put by the company, kindly note that also. The price, end price of the product which you are paying, you have to add these costs also, that is the time cost, the energy cost, the psychic cost, it gives you the total customer cost. So, when your total customer value which is coming out by the purchase of this product is more than the total customer cost, then the customer delivered value will be positive. Otherwise, you have a situation where the customer is not getting the desired value from your product. When he is not getting the desired value from your product, there is no reason for him to prefer your product. Kindly note that. So, this diagram, a very well depicted diagram, gives you what we call in the marketing terminology the determinants of customer delivered value. What are all the determinants? So, on the left hand side you have the value determinants, on the right hand side you have the cost determinants. You find in each of these right hand side and the left hand side 4 value determinants: the image value, the personal value, the services value and the product value, making up to total customer value. On the cost side, the psychic cost, the energy cost, the time cost and the monetary cost, making up to total customer cost. The total customer value and the total customer cost in turn gives what is called the customer delivered value. So, this is how a market looks at a product. This is how a market normally looks at any product which is put for consumption in the marketplace, and more so when it is a consumer durable, and more so when it is a high value product. Let us say you are looking at an automobile, let us say you want to take a car from the market. The type of cost that you incur is not just the monetary cost of that product, you incur all these costs. You will be consulting with people whom you know, you will be consulting with the users of that particular car, you will, in addition to the what the company says. In other words, you are not making an immediate decision about the car that you are going to purchase. So many feeds will come to you. This car is not up to the mark, do not take it, rethink about this taking of the car, all those types of things. So, taking all those factors into account only, you will decide which one to take. So, it is not just the monetary cost, the other 3 costs are also involved, that is the time cost, energy cost and the psychic cost. Whereas, the value that you are going to get has these 4 components, that is the image value, personal value, services value and the product value. So, this total customer value and the total customer cost giving what we call the customer delivered value. So, these are the different determinants of this customer delivered value, and it becomes extremely important in a marketing environment, and that too in a competitive marketing environment that you are facing in the Indian market today. Any product that you are going to introduce in the marketplace or thinking of introducing in the marketplace has to go through all these compartments, kindly note that. So, when you are able to really push it through all these compartments successfully, then only you are going to have a successful product in the marketplace. So, we will with this we will stop here, we will continue in the next class. Thank you.